Good morning. It is Sunday morning, September 15th, 2022. This is Ron Brown. I did a video yesterday, but I'm going to do another one today. It's not going to be that long. Anyway, here's my standard risk disclaimer. I don't need to go over that again. If you want to try HGSI, go to the highgrowthstock.com website and you can find a link to get the 30-day trial. Now I've got two charts up here. I'm showing the NASDAQ composite. You'll find these in my Major Markets Plus folder under the Market Analysis User Groups if you want to analyze with these. And this is my standard NASDAQ chart. And this is all the information I look at every day. But you can see that the NASDAQ has this nice run up here where it looked like the market may be moving higher. It collapsed with the rising interest rates, and you can see where we are right now. On Friday, there was some buying towards the end of the day. It was probably a lot of short covering rather than bargain hunting. But we are close to this area right here, and if this area is taken out, I'm afraid that we could go a lot lower. Let's hope that doesn't happen. This is a daily chart. If I make this a monthly chart, it may be kind of, I'm going to clear all the annotations here. You can see that the monthly chart is in danger of breaking support right here, and that would not be good. Don't pay any attention to the blue. Those are just pocket pivots and so on running together because I changed it to a monthly chart. But this is a critical level on the daily chart, and if that's broken at the close, I'm fearful of what may be ahead. Anyway, let's go back to a daily chart, and then I'm going to drop down here to look at the chart number 3, new highs versus new lows. And I'll zoom out on this, and you can see that the number of new highs versus new lows has not reached the levels that we saw over here. That was back in, it looks like it was May of 2022. So we may have further to go based upon this, but it is spiking up considerably. Let's look at the advanced decline line. I'll make this full screen. Pull this down so you can really see it. And you can see that even when the market was going up, or the NASDAQ composite, there was deterioration within the advanced decline line. And now it has taken out any support here, and we're headed lower. So it's been a long deterioration. Obviously the fan is down. We got on the accumulation distribution, it was D and it got to C, but this is a slow reacting indicator, so I don't pay that much attention to it. Now I want to take a look at the market from a different perspective. This is the NASDAQ 100. This is a chart that I built years ago. It's in HGSI, and it shows the percentage of stocks I hit the wrong key there, above their 20-day simple moving average, the 50-day simple moving average, the 30, and then the 50, and then the 200. And only of the NASDAQ 100, only 2 of them are above their 20-day moving average. But let's look at a broader index. Leave that right there, and I want to go over here. Let's look at the S&P 1500. I posted a chart this morning, and this represents the S&P 500, 400, and 600, so it's a much better indication of what's going on in the market. I'll put a crosshair on here, and you can see that these lows, which were established here, 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 and here are being challenged. So this market is definitely extremely oversold. Does it mean it will bounce? Very good question, but there's really not much out there on the long side. Now, the NASDAQ chart itself, and I'll go back up here, shows that volume was less than average, and you can see that it was just below the 90-day moving average. But when I use this chart on the S&P 1500, you can see there was somewhat of a volume spike there, not like the day here, but if I click on this and then go all the way over here to the left, you can see volume was above average. So there was some panic selling, but it's not extreme. But in a situation like this, you would expect, or I would expect, or we all expect, that there would be a market ready to bounce back. Now, this is a chart I built years ago too, with buy and sell signals. Here was a sell signal here. After a buy signal, it looked like the market was going to move up here. This is a chart I put in. I just added it to my 6 chart. I wanted candlesticks. This is a bar chart. I just thought this one gave a little more clarity on the individual candles, and you can see here on this gap down, all of these indicators went negative. It's the advancers versus decliners, and advancing volume versus declining volume above 5. If they're above 5 to 1, then it's going to be red, and these are force indexes, the volume point of control. And the market really hasn't looked back. That was an excellent sell signal after buy signals, which looked good until the Powell announcement. If you look over here to the left, you can see that there were, I have the advancers, decliners, I don't have an unchanged in there, only 155 advancers and 1290 decliners in this index on Friday. This box will only show the last day. If you go to other days, it doesn't change. This just represents the last day. So if you do want to try to start building some watch lists for potential trades, like I said, there's really not much out there. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to go back into my tools, and I'm going to link multiple charts. I had them delinked because I wanted to show you a chart over here that was not linked to the NASDAQ composite. And now I'm going to go into my undercut and rally charts. Do this one with the end of day statistics. And I'm going to go into my designer. Let's just make this a full chart like this. Zoom out a little bit. And I'm just going, this is just a suggestion, but if you go to, and I probably have more in here than you do, but what you want to do is look at the instant watch list. 16 stocks end of day bullish, so it's supposed to pull up 16 stocks. It just shows you that there's not much out there, and some of these are buyouts that really don't even count here. Let's and this one, you can see immediately you have no interest in that stock, and this looks like a buyout because it is a buyout, and these are removed automatically from HCSI when the deals are culminated. So I know there's ugly looking charts in there that contain that, but you just have to live with it. I update Metastock files on this computer, and you can see this is about a month and a half's worth of stocks that are no longer in the database that were automatically deleted, and that's what happens when the deals are culminated. Now I use Amy Broker once in a while to because I like the drawing tools and so on, and that's why I update my Metastock files. It just takes a few more minutes to do that if you need Metastock files. Anyway, let's take a look here. You can see that there should be 16 max, and there's only 7, and several of them, or a few of them, are buyouts. Here's a decent looking chart. It's extended. The reason I wanted to bring this UNR chart up, because it shows, and I have scans for all these, it shows when stocks are under accumulation, both with the light green bars based upon candles or with VPA flags. And look at this. This came down to the 50-day moving average. Chopped around for a while, then there was an effort to rise here as it crossed over the 3, made a nice move, and then a shakeout, another move, another shakeout, but on this one it held. They don't all work out as usual, we all know that, but it's a good way to analyze a stock. Down here, the histograms, this is a 3 and 6 crossover, both up and down. This is the 6 and 18, and the 18 versus 50. So when you're getting this volatility, notice the 18 versus 50 is still in a buy mode, and then this is a volume point of control down here. Anyway, my suggestion is this is another buyout, I believe, United Healthcare. I believe this is another buyout. So you can see there's just really, here's another one, just really not much here. Stride is not a buyout. The group is really weak, as you can see. Here is your accumulation area, the light green bars and all the VPA flags. And then the crossover with the dark green bar, that's where the 3 crossed the 6. I'll put a crosshair on here so you can see that. And this has moved up nicely since. So yes, the buy point was back here, but it's one of the few decent looking charts in the database. Quick add to group. I'll choose that. I'll go to user groups, watch lists, new. I'll just make it today's date, 2022-09-25. And I'm going to add that one. Let's just take a quick look at the fundamentals. You can see the EPS rank is good, RS rank's good, the group rank is poor. Now, remember, these are comparisons to everything in the database. In other words, this group rank is comparing only to other groups, and you can see what's happening with this group. So you need to be aware of that. The group is weak, but this stock is strong. Let's look at a few more here. End of day, fan up, pullback. So these are pullback stocks. And the first one was, I don't think I mentioned it. Let's look at Cal-Maine here. Just these are stocks that have already crossed over. I didn't make that clear. Now these are pullback stocks. If I bring these up, you can see this pulled back. Here was a good buy signal. Now it's under accumulation with this. Could be considered a hammer. Look at this down here. Great place to buy, low risk entry. Green bars across showing accumulation along with VPA flags, and then the crossover, and it didn't look back. Now it's pulling back again. Will it go again? Who knows? Cowan Group, another buyout. Cross Country Healthcare, this one has been chopping around. Resistance is right here, as you can see. Selling off though with a hammer. I'm going to quick add to group. I could have used an alternate G. First Solar has been a leader. And look at this buy clear down here after accumulation. No light green bars here, but there were VPA flags. In my scans, I use both VPA flags and, or VPA, yes, VPA flags, I'm sorry, and then candles. So no accumulation right here because the 3 was still above the 6. It's hard to see. You'll only get these green bars if the 3 is below the 6, and then it crossed over and took off. It's expensive. Alternate G. I'm going to put it in a watch list. Now I don't have to go over and click on the designer. I can just come down here. International Seaways. RS is 99. This is an insurance services. Here's your accumulation. Here's your crossover, move up, pull back. Here's your accumulation, couple of days, and then the crossover. Really nice run. So even with all the carnage in the market, some of these stocks are still way oversold. Let's look at Max and Solar Tech. You can see the buy signals here and here. Pull back. Accumulation towards the end of the day here on Friday. If the market starts going up, that may be a possibility. Alternate G, it's going in the watch list. Regeneron, too expensive. Wolf Speed, Semiconductor. Had a huge gap up here, but look at all these buy signals before the gap and clear down here. And then accumulation, buy signal, and it's pulling back. It's an expensive stock too, but it probably has liquid options. Not sure about that, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to put it in my watch list. Okay. If you want to limit your stocks to 75 or under, I've got some limitations in here on all of these. Now let's go down to the pullback to the 50-day. I'll limit this to $75. Let's just look through a few of these. See, it came all the way back while it's well beyond the 50, but it's within the percentage in the filter. Stock's too loose. Now this is a fairly tight stock with a pullback. Okay, here's the 50. You can see it's very close to the 50. Came down to the 100 and bounced off. Looks like there was a big buying spurt and then it sold off intraday. I'm going to put that in my watch list. CenterPoint Energy down to the 100. You can do this very quickly. I'm coming over here and I shouldn't be. I should just do it right here because it's a lot faster. And once this area is highlighted like this, if I click my down arrow key, you can see that I can quickly flip through these. Now there's accumulation, but there's a lot of overhead resistance. Now here's a decent looking stock. I don't know anything about it. RS at 94. Healthcare. Alternate G. That's got too much ground to make up. I'll flip through these. Another health stock that was trending up nicely. Alternate G. Well, there are some possibilities in here if the market goes up. I don't like that one. Now, I'm just using my down arrow key. Now this one was really strong. You can see it gapped down, but buyers stepped into it on heavy volume. The group is weak. Says there's only one stock in this chemical distribution. Right up here it tells us that. I'm going to put it in my watch list. It's a biotech, high relative strength. It's actually a nice looking chart. Been a lot of buy signals on this. I'm going to pass on it though. Rambus, semiconductor devices. There's a lot of work here to get past this. I'm not interested in that. I'm sorry, I hit the wrong thing there. Here's another scan that you may be interested in looking at, or any of these scans actually, but I'm going to end on this one. Unconfirmed low pivots. These are stocks that are forming a lower pivot than the prior days, and I designed this for low risk entries. Let's just take a look at some of these. Here's the low pivot on this. Now, to confirm this, it would have to take out at least this high, and a confirmed would be clear up here. That's too far away, though. Let's look at a couple more. But you can see the pivots. These are pivoting down. They're unconfirmed because they're going to have to go back up to be confirmed. Let's just take a look at In-Phase Energy, which has been a leader. You can see it sold off hard, but buyers came into it. The low was 270.57, and it closed all the way up at 279.49. That's a lot of capital to risk. If I were playing a stock like this, I would do it with a debit or credit spread if I think it's going to go higher. Let's do one more, Solar Tech. Now this one looks pretty good here. It hasn't fallen off too much. Here's your low pivot. Confirmed would be above this high, but if you if it starts moving up again, you could buy early and put your stop right below it. Use my spreadsheets to determine your risk. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to do a follow-up to the video I did yesterday. I said I would. There are some possibilities if the market goes up, but that is a big question right now. But I have just shown you some examples of low risk entries. I certainly wouldn't be chasing anything. There is very little to chase anyway. Thank you for listening. Have a good week, and protect your capital as you go forward.